Welcome, welcome everyone to another Living the Mystical Life Daily Webcast. Sorry for the technical delay, but we are getting started. Sit back, relax, get your party started, your party in your mind, your party in your heart, for today's unique moment where we get to ask questions of ourselves, what we get to understand as a greater level, for our parts and time as the interactive, co-creative, one-on-one expressions of who we are. There comes a time in each person's growth process where they must stop all internal and external dialogues. Each person must do this on their own as sacred practice, separate from any other content sources or modalities that created the perspective of transcendence. You and only you can make it a reality. This process of ceasing all dialogues and thought processes is known as auditing your great work. This is no mere victory ceremony or review of our rites of passage earned and learned. This is a fully authentic observation of what you do in the now to see your work, great work, in yourselves as beings of action. Some see too much action in some areas of your journey, i.e. too much internet time, not enough time with the kids, always processing traumas and not enjoying the world. Here's a checklist, your self-observation. How many books have you read this year? How many books did you read last year? Reading books is our vital expanding of our journey. If you have chosen to stop reading, you are sabotaging yourself and your many future generations of selves from the wonders of discovery. No matter what generation you are in, be it Victorian or millennials, reading actual full-length books makes a massive difference in your brain and its synaptic growth. It sharpens the mind to see other perspectives and creates clear separation points from the global infrastructure of distraction and self-imposed obligation. Another thing on your checklist: how many sacred places have you actually physically gone to as this on a personal spiritual pilgrimage? Sacred places are everywhere. Have you gotten to the point in your journey where you require special energies of sacred places? Are you ready to refill yourself of the nectar of those places? Now knowing Facebook and YouTube is also knowing something that is not a sacred place, where you cannot make Facebook or YouTube or any other social media site your sacred space. It will not provide you earth connection like the grass between your toes. Simply be a plastic keyboard under your fingers. The next part on your checklist: are you codependent on the outside world? Are you codependent on the unseen world? Have you become a zealot or martyr for any cause? How much have you written about your journey and experiences on your path and goals? Or you have no pages written, you are faking the journey. Have you maintained a regular forgiving practice for your little local bubble of a reality, all the way up your scale of understanding? Having a regular forgiving practice and understanding when you are or are not being dependent on the seen and the unseen world, the inside and the outside world, revealed to you many different forms and paths for you to go on. Now, for everyone that's hanging out here, understanding the work is being done, I'm going to ask you all a question, but I want you to put it into your great journey, your chronicle. What is love? Think about it. Process it. If you're in the chat room, I'd like for you to log in, put your name in there, and actually write down your version of love. Love is that creates sensing, that creates migration patterns, that creates swirling patterns of galactic systems or the intergalactic and intermutual systems of change of love. Pause for a second. Feel what is love. Who are you? What are you? What is the process going on with you, defining what love is? Get into your mind, get into your heart. Get into a higher frequency here. You are the divine co-creator of this moment of now, and no one else is the divine co-creator of now. Love is what bonds people into soul families, into soul groups, and twin planes and flames that are on a plane of existence in this universal reality. It's expanded and not contracted. Love is what it is. It is the experience, and in this particular reality, love is the foundational rule they tried to change. Think of that. Why did they want to change the foundational rules of love? Love is mother and father. Love is earth and Gaia. Love is the wind, the ocean, the rain, passing of the seasons and moving of the stars. All that is an expression of love. Love is the I am presence of saying, I want to experience the full richness of this reality, the soul family in communion with this earth. So this reality experience is the perfection of existence. So they may take this perfection of existence to the rest of the universe. Share the message. Love conquers all. So for those of you that are here in the chat room, have a ready and making a database of them. For those of you who are listening onto YouTube as the replay, a day, a week, a month, or a year from now, go on into the chat. Put up a message. What is love? For the powerful students out there, we let the pendulum swing. Does love and evil go hand in hand? Is love good inherently? Good and evil is a human linguistic term meant to limit you by intonation and vibration so you cannot fully express the polarity in the expression of love. Evil is love in a different form. It is saying, I cannot accept love. But love, on the other hand, says, I accept you, brother and sister, no matter how far into polarity you are. Evil. What is it, evil? Not all anger comes from love. Not all anger comes from lack. Not all love comes from anything. It is an existence and coexistence process. Deeper. Brothers and sisters, let's come together and communicate and figure out where the separation of existence is. And that is this experiential reality. When one falls into be it good or evil, you go down the path of light and all of a sudden literally flip into evil. You can go down the path of evil to the point where your polarity of expression for this reality literally flips you into love. And you see this throughout our people, growing lives all the time. They're angry one moment and flip to the light to the next moment. Pendulum of experience going on. Pendulum of our experience. This is the Mystical Life Daily Webcast. Pull out those journals. Write that term down. The pendulum of your experience. Each and every day we feel the swing, happiness, sadness, all of those other things that are out there that are challenging our sacred neutral point of view or our polarized point of view. Embrace this pendulum, for it's what creates a roller coaster each day. When you embrace this pendulum and do not allow the swing of the pendulum to take control of your emotions, but allow the subtle patterns of the pendulum to teach you before the pendulum swings what the other side is presenting, and preparing yourself balanced, slowing the pendulum swinging, or stopping it altogether and replacing it with your natural, co-creative evolution on a path to a divine being, creating and manifesting here in the now. You are that divine being. What stops you from being a divine being? Really ask yourself, what stops you from being a divine being? Only you. Only your choices and points that you've created within your life stop you from discovering that process, that understanding. Life is meant to be lived in the ever-present, masterful moment of the now. That's your process to ask yourself in the checklist of self-authorization. How many books have I read in the last year? How many sacred places have you been? Are you codependent on the outside world? Are you codependent on the seen or the unseen world? Are you codependent on being a hermit? Are you codependent on Facebook and YouTube? How many pages have you written about your personal journey, experiences to your path and accomplishing goals? Do you maintain a regular forgiving practice from your local bubble of reality all the way up the scale of your responsibility to your awareness? Many of you are at a pause right now, wondering, what is a forgiving practice? What is codependent on the unseen? So many light workers fall victim to this. The unseen world runs my life. Bullshit. That's codependency, waiting for them to do it. They will do nothing without your part in it. Have you become a zealot or martyr for any cause? Dogs and cats, starving kids. Those are all charges and polarities in this world. As long as you allow yourself the decadence of being a zealot or martyr in this modern age, you have failed at the greater understanding of sacred neutrality, balancing your life, allowing new things into you. Zealotry and martyrship have served you nothing but a plate of your own self-sabotage. 7-course meal of sabotage. For it defeats all your other great work and play by being a zealot when the kids on the starving kids pop up on television, Facebook posts, and it says, I must sign this document to free the world. It means nothing. Even if there was a movement of millions signing the document, it means nothing. Reduce the thickness of your skull and allow these intangible worlds to touch your tangible mind. They mean nothing if you are not already on the path to your self-awareness, self-expansion, self-understanding, and expanding your ability to know who you are, what you've been. Because you have a checklist that asks yourself the most hardest question. Forgiving practice. I've talked about this a handful of times on a handful of shows, but I talk about forgiveness. Forgiveness itself is an action we do in a moment. The endurance of forgiveness is determination. Are you still holding on to charge and polarity? So you must over and over forgive and forgive. For that is a torturous process of martyrship, where you must forgive the same thing 1,500 times before you get it in your forgave it. You're being run by sympathetic and parasympathetic programs of guilt, shame, blame, causing depression, regression, and obsession. Who are you right now? Are you a being of love, born out of love, acting through love, through the dream frequency, on a sacred neutral path, on a sacred neutral journey, following your shamanic path to the stars and beyond? that being? Are you that being? Or are you avoiding your own responsibility by cleaning up your garden, washing your toilet bowls, showers, in the metaphysical sense of spiritual hygiene? Are you a being of capacity to forgive? This scales. Can you let go of the greatest backstab that has ever been done to you? As long as you must hold on to that energy, there is charge and polarity within the trauma. That is why a regular forgiving practice is vital at the greater understanding how to go forward on your living the mystical life, Dave. How many of you are codependent on me for doing shows? The frequency that I present, the truth that I present. It's okay. Just forgive yourself and learn to become called interdependent. It isn't codependent, and that's not independent. You can come and go with codependent and dependent seamlessly and not retain charge and polarity. Interdependent is a play on words on the interconnected all of the universe that we have. Valid and interdependent. It can only be codependent on your choice to gain valid. Your journey will never get caught. It is dependent on you writing it. You are codependent and interdependent and dependent on many things. Not all codependency is a bad relationship. Something that has just been done and made in this modern world of psychological word salad. These psychological word salads can be used for a greater process. They trigger things within you, others, people around. Allow yourself humanity's moment. A moment of humanity itself that says you are divine, manifesting, being on the great journey to the great ever after, with all frequencies ready. Pause for a minute. Pause. Take heed of some new words. Take heed of a greater understanding. Can you allow it? Can you, right now, allow it? Who are you again? Are you the being of the now? Are you a being of some other time? Can you say thank you to your own personal forgiveness? Here is where you make a face offering to all the ancestors, past, present, and future. You offer gratitude and appreciation for teachings, dependent, codependent, and independent of all teachers. Their sacrifices, their mistakes, their great victories of accumulation of past and future, calling themselves now. Thank the ancestors for everything they've done, for sharing heart space, for sharing the medicine teaching, and all those other things that we come in the dream week. The sacred medicine wheel goes round and round, moving and cycling through the phases of red and blue. The Yellowstone of the East illuminates with what? Retroactive redemption. The white stone to the north speaks of wisdom of previous grandfathers and grandmothers. The black stone to the west houses the placenta of great mystery. Here is where you rest, recover, and recycle your whole energy body. by connecting to the void of great mystery in the western doorway of dreamtime perception. There is where your spirit journey will begin. There's where your teachers await spirit guide. When you choose to connect to the communal source within yourself that's creating peace through the infinite forgiving process, declare you are in service to the fifth world of peace. Declare you are a peacekeeper in this ever-present moment to continue and choose on that path. So those in time and no time may feel your greater wisdom, your greater process, your greater who-ness of you are, whatness of you are. For if you do not know the whatness within yourself, how can the isness be anything in your being of isness? Time for a sacred prayer, if you're truly ready to take on a higher frequency. This prayer that I'm about to read forth is coming from the Living Mystical Life Daily online course. It's called Accepting the Fifth World of Peace. I, in this ever-present co-creative moment of the now, connect my signature frequency of being with all of myself in non-hierarchical order, so I may deconstruct the reality around me and create it once more without the global infrastructure of distraction and instant gratification guiding me into all sacred moment. O great spirit, who gives life to all that is, was, and ever will be, I call to you in this sacred moment of infinite interconnectedness. Life is a series of interconnected moment-to-moment experiences, blending with the I Am's awareness of time, space, and emotions, creating emotions experienced through the red rose of time. I call to the eastern doorway of perception, the ancestors who sit of time. I activate my cranial sacral pulse with the highest frequencies of sun energy, so I may know the heartbeat that Earth Mother feels in the womb of the universe. I am a fetus, universal womb, dreaming this dream in perfect clarity. Call to the southern doorway of perception, the ancestors who teach us how to keep our internal waters in balance, to learn to connect back to our sacred waters that surround us as a fetus in our mother's womb. And our density manifest our pericardium as our eternal water supply. I call to this the western doorway of dreamtime. I call to the 7 future generations of myself, my clan, my nation, Earth Mother. Come hold sacred space with my self-reflection of who I am, what I am, and how I dream this dream. Me dreaming you and you dreaming me. The Earth Mother dreaming all of us in communion and union with Source incarnate dreaming now. Out of the northern doorway of ancestral Blue Road relations, those that have taught us and continue to teach equal co-creation from heart space beings, because we live every moment to moment with all sentient kind, sharing the common moral code of do no harm to any creature kind. Expanding my awareness of the northern door, I go deep into the Blue Road Ancestral Council. I manifest my I Am dreaming self in communion and union with the Blue Road Council of Elders. I pass the Blue Road communal talking stick to the Chief Elder of the North. Aho, Red Road walkers, I say these words unto you. The generations of the past reach out to you in the unseen world no longer. We share your sovereign reality of do no harm to any sentient kind. We share our story with you. We share our teachings with you, so the future may exist. You are our living hope of continued service to all soul family lineages evolving in the fifth world of peace, manifested in our spaces. I pick up the talking stick and acknowledge the rites of passage with heart space knowingness. I make this statement to all ancestors, past, present, and future. We, the generations of now, bear the responsibility of acting in the now. With this knowledge, I tell the tales of ancestors, past, present, and future. I choose to be the eternal storyteller in service to the fifth world of peace. I honor the passing of the torch of blue to red accepting my place in the natural world as a living, breathing manifestation of non-duality, non-separation, dreaming, I am being, making ancient future now. Eastern and Western doorways of perception with my I am present. I connect them and unify my knowingness expressions with the Northern and Southern doorways of perception. I activate my DNA super technology of communion and union with Source incarnate now. I am now into eternal communal oneness with the North, South, East, and Western doorways of perception. Call upon all prayers I have ever created in this I am lifetime to become manifest with this ever-evolving will to pray and connect with our Mother Earth Mother and fifth world of peace. This is the day I make eternal sacred in my hall of Akashic records. This is my day of eternal victory. I summon all victories of this I am lifetime and all other I am lifetimes this soul has been since the dawn of Blue Road No Time. I construct my internal hall of personal victories so all I am self may experience the victories of life. Bless me as I walk this sacred soil. Bless me as I breathe your sacred air. Bless me as I warm myself with sacred fire. Bless me as with your sacred waters of life. Bless me as I learn to walk my personal path. Today I travel the great unknown. Grant me the wisdom to be humble. Grant me the wisdom to love, even when love is not returned. Grant me the knowledge to balance my way of being, so I may heal my family, my tribe, my nation, and our Earth Mother. Today, I am of service to the fifth world of peace. Hope. Come on back into reality, knowing you are here. We are all beings of love. And I'm going to take my first call on the Living the Mystical Life Daily webcast as a reminder to all those that have been waiting and calling in. This is not a call-in for a reading show. This is about your Living the Mystical Life Daily, your ceremonies, your processes, your traumas released, how you can be a teacher asking proper questions. So if I say no when you ask what's your purpose, you can call in on another Thursday show. That is the Adventure to Reality call-in show. This is the hour and a half I get to be your coach, spirit coach. This is not a call in and find your instant gratification galactic history or your instant gratification of what your damn purpose is. You should already know that. This is my Listicle Life Daily. And I need assistance and facilitation so my Listicle Life Daily is far more effective by working smarter and not harder. So we spin the wheel of cause and Chieti, Italy. Chieti, Italy, are you there? Antonella?
Oh, yes, hi.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
It's kind of late,
Welcome to
that's
the
why
show.
I sound a bit...
Yeah, it's
Thank
almost
you.
midnight over there, huh?
Yeah.
So what did you think of our opening speech?
Oh, well, it totally matched with me. Well, it was pretty good. I think it was fantastic. Thank you.
So what is going on with your Living the Mystical Life Daily?
Yeah, I don't quite understand what I can and cannot ask. I wasn't aware of not being able to ask anything. So what can I ask? I'm sorry.
So this is about your Living the Mystical Life Daily, the prayers and ceremonies, real rituals and things that you've created, meditations that you do that work that need to be tweaked. It isn't about your job, your future. It's about what makes your life work, the mechanics of how things work for you.
Yeah, I live with my parents and they're aging, and I feel them, like even physically. Like I feel them, and it's messing up with my feelings. I don't know.
You are empathizing with them, and you must make conscious application of the sacred to say that your empathy cannot affect you, even when you're living with them. You must create rituals and ceremonies that make sure they're nurtured with your love, but are not dominating your unseen world?
Yeah, I don't know how to do that.
Oh, let me give you an example. So just repeat after me.
Okay.
I, in this ever-present moment.
You got cut off. I,
in this ever-present moment,
in this ever-present moment,
choose to connect to my sacred frequency.
choose to connect with my sacred frequency.
So I make a separation of empathy.
So I make a separation of empathy
With my parents.
with my parents.
So I may truly understand my alone inside world.
So I may truly understand my alone inside world.
Separate of their projections.
Separate of their projections.
Polarity in charge.
Polarity in charge.
I honor and forgive them in this moment.
I honor and forgive them in this moment.
I forgive myself in this moment.
I forgive myself in this moment.
For taking on charge and polarity.
For taking on charge and polarity.
That has created a time of intense empathy.
It has created a time of intense empathy.
I now let go of the need, desire, and want.
I now let go of the desire of need and want.
For my parents to be a part of my seen and unseen world.
For my parents to be part of my seen and unseen world.
They will always be a part.
They will always be a part.
They just shall not dominate my life.
They just shall not dominate my life.
For I choose at this moment.
For I choose at this moment.
To use forgiveness and love as a sacred practice.
To use forgiveness and love as a sacred practice.
To temper my empathy.
To temper my empathy.
To tame the empath in me.
To tame the empath in me.
So I may be free of the feral energy.
So I may be free of the feral energies.
That are creating charge and polarity.
That are creating charge and polarity.
I, at this ever-present moment.
I, at this ever-present moment.
Let go of the need to be relevant.
Let go of the need to be relevant.
As a psychic.
What?
As
a psychic.
For I am just a being in this moment.
For I am just a being of this moment.
In an experience.
In an experience.
All other archetypical definitions.
All other archetypical definitions.
Have no real relevance.
Have no real relevance.
This is the game of empathy.
This is the game of empathy.
To make relevant.
To make relevant.
Something that is irrelevant.
Something that is irrelevant.
To your greater goals.
To my greater goals.
Now you can expand upon any fold. You must make conscious, sacred boundaries. We're not kicking them out of your reality. You're removing the charge and polarity that you're holding on and that they're projecting at you.
Interesting. Yeah, thank you. I think I have this problem with, like, even in areas that I've lived in and people that I know, and like I have this problem, and I think you hit it.
No, you need to use the contract revocations. Those are very beneficial for beginning to do that. There's one for the banking, government, media, divine feminine, divine masculine, the consciousness strike, and the shaman's death. Those are all free tools available on the website. A regular daily practice of defining rules, borders, policies, seen and unseen procedures that says, this is my reality, and I'm choosing to be a being of love and forgiveness. And if you are not a signature-free match for love and forgiveness, I cannot empathize or sympathize with it. For it is only what? Charge and polarity. All right. Thanks so much for calling. I'm going to move on to the next caller, darling. Okay. Next caller is Nicholas from Austin, Texas. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Hi, Nicholas. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you? Can you hear me?
For some reason, I got muted. All right, Nicholas, are you there? How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing good. So what did you think about the opening speech?
Oh, man, it really had my mind just thinking about a lot of different things. But I loved it. Really needed it.
Have you ever done something like a checklist for yourself? Asking yourself, am I a zealot or a martyr about any subject in my life?
No, I haven't.
When you fly in an airplane, you pretty much have an expectation that, they're making sure they're not going to fall apart in the air, right?
Right.
They do all the checklists to make sure 300 lives are in good hands. Each day you wake up, there's a checklist that you can create for yourself that can greatly assist you on your journey. Are you codependent on anything in this world?
No, I'm not.
Oh, yes, you are. You're codependent on many things. Again, codependence is not a bad thing. It's understanding that money is a codependent process, seen and unseen. Love is a codependent process, seen and unseen.
You're right.
We must take the time to define our world through these checklists. How can I help you as a Living the Mystical Life Daily coach?
Well, I've recently moved out here to Austin, and it's just been a challenge to getting to, adapt to the new environment, just being out here on my own finally, my first time in life. So,
is it cultural that's getting to you? Or is it the heat?
It's kind of the culture is way different from Louisiana.
Mm-hmm. So what made you want to move there?
Well, I wanted to move out further, but it was like this is something that was closer because I do music. I just wanted to kind of get away from the environment that I was in. I guess to say just a lot of resistance.
Mm-hmm. So what do you do for your own practices that help make moments sacred for you? How do you make your music perfect?
Well, I try to stay on a positive note. I will always watch how I say things and stuff throughout my weekend when I'm writing or reading.
Okay. What do you do as ceremonies and rituals?
I do like light meditation sometimes when I get time. I just try to, zone out and just not worry about, anything.
Mm-hmm. Have you done any of the practices on the front of the webpage, the Living the Mystical Life practices?
Oh, yeah, it's been a while. Last time I did one, I think it was last masculine and forgot the other one.
You should pick those practices back up. It'll be greatly beneficial for you adjusting to a new place in space-time.
Right.
Help you balance your ancestral energies.
Yeah, I'm gonna get back on because I know when I first like I was trouble to stand with and I just kept doing it. And I know started feeling better and just feel this peace come over me.
Mm-hmm. You're the only one that can create that peace. No one's going to create it for you. So as your coach for living the mystical life daily, you got to begin the daily practice. And there has to be consequences when you don't do it. Just as if a child didn't do his homework. Only you could do it. The aliens aren't going to come down for you. Hollow Earth beings aren't going to come up here and make a revaluation of the currency. No human being in the government's going to do anything that's going to create any form of real change. All right, Nick, thanks a lot for calling. We're going to move on to the next caller.
All right, thanks, Andrew. Have a good one.
Yeah. All right, so next caller is going to be Aaron. Are you there? Aaron. Going once. Going twice. Doot, 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 doot. Aaron, are you there?
I'm here.
Aaron, good to talk. Where are you calling from today?
Seattle, Washington.
Seattle, Washington. So how did you come to the Living the Mystical Life Daily webcast?
Oh, man. The last a little over 2 years now have been, every month has been like a year. And it's been, just thinking about it, this life and the things that I've been through in a short amount of time has been like the most incredible adventure. Seems like a cheapening analogy, but the best I can think of at this point is like a video game that was so thorough and detailed and in depth, and the storyline so expansive and thought-provoking. Each area of the map and the people you'd come across, the information you'd learn was so expansive and opening understandings and pathways that you just never even conceived of. And as you make progress along the game and stop and look back, and I'm just constantly in awe at the beauty of this life, and even amidst the systems of domination and control that we're born into, the ways that, even though I don't understand it all and I don't have rememberings in detail of past lives and things, there's a deep and intimate knowingness. As I've leaned into that the beauty of things unraveling one day at a time, one step at a time, one integrating one practice at a time or ceremony at a time into life, and being able to stop and to recognize the zealotries in my own life in different seasons and places where love is hindered and where there's bias, and places of learning to serve everyone but be abused and used by no one. Just the everything. I mean, just the everything, and it's so incredibly wonderful. Even the not knowing, the time in between each step of not understanding and not knowing, and now knowing, and not knowing because I've necessarily experienced firsthand, but knowing because you come across someone like yourself and you hear the history of the galaxy and the universe, and so many pieces make sense at such a deep level, but oftentimes not a cognitive level. And I could piece this or that together, but it would make sense to no one but myself, my own spirit, my own soul, the incredible resonance.
It's your own unweaving patterns. And that's one of the things that I do. Each and every being that's listening to me is in their own unweaving pattern.
It's beautiful.
So I'm your coach right now. How can I help you better your living the mystical life daily process?
I don't know. Let me ask you that. You can tune into my Akashic Records better than I can. What would be a source stream for you to read and to perceive that would be beneficial to me and everyone else listening right now?
Most important thing for you is forgiveness. There's still a lot of unforgived energies in you. It has been a challenge since just after your birth. You got to be willing to touch those places of rage and anger that you've avoided and avoided and avoided and avoided and avoided until it makes you cry. You can go further, but you'll be at a turtle's pace with the brain of a dinosaur, unable to really process. It is what is holding you back. Forgiving. Forgiving your mother and father, brother and sister, aunt and uncle, seen and unseen. Forgiving till there's no more pain. Be willing to touch those traumas, no matter what they uncover. Sometimes you just need a little light touch so the steam is blown off, an etherical steam that doesn't make a rage manifestation. Discover your hour of power. What time of day do you have the most energy?
Usually once I get going, get on the road.
Good. Why? What haven't you forgiven?
It's a good question. I'd cognitively think nothing. I feel that that's sometimes I try to everything you're saying certainly receive. I don't want to not look into anything, and I feel like that's something I as exceptionally am willing to look at things that most people don't.
So I want you to put yourself as an 8-year-old kid. Where were you living at 8 years old?
Not too far from Seattle area, but it's a little more out in the suburbs.
What happened to you when you were 8 years old that needs forgiving?
When you say 8, the only traumatic event that I can remember about that time was there was a day that I was out back, and I think I decided to grab my dad's shovel and just start digging a hole just for the sake of digging a hole because I was 8 and I'm a kid, a boy. And my dad came home from work, and I just saw him coming out towards me, and he got in my face and said, F you, F you, F you, F you. I've acknowledged this before. I've thought about this. So maybe there's a deeper level of forgiveness and healing and on all that.
So what I want you to do is to say at this moment is I'm letting go of all the charge, all the polarity of that moment.
I'm letting go of all the charge, all the polarity of that moment.
All the swear words.
All the swear words.
I was just an innocent kid digging a hole.
Just an innocent kid digging a hole.
I now put the dirt back in the hole.
I'll put the dirt back in the hole.
And I put a spirit seed there.
Put a spirit seed there.
And I water it with my sacred waters of life.
Water with my sacred waters of life.
So it'll no longer be a trauma, but a healing.
It'll no longer be a trauma, but a healing.
All the light I absorbed through my body from the sun.
All the light I absorbed from my body through the sun.
Past, present, and future.
Past, present, and future.
I now channel into this seed.
Now channel into this seed.
Reversing the path of rage and anger imprinted in me.
Reversing the path of rage and anger imprinted into me.
And I remove this imprint.
I remove this imprint.
with each action I use and create.
Each action I use and create.
Enrage previous moments.
Rage previous moments.
For this moment, I am channeling light.
For this moment, I am channeling light.
Through the synaptic pathways of rage imprinted on me.
The synaptic pathways of rage imprinted upon me.
Through that moment, my father was screaming.
The moment my father was screaming.
For all other moments of rage in the future, use this as the highway.
For all the moments of rage in the future, use this as the highway.
To get its way.
Get its way.
I'm now changing the direction of the highway, changing the signs on the ramp.
Now changing the direction of the highway and changing the signs of the ramp.
So they are redefined.
They are redefined.
Reprinted.
Printed.
I remove all the charge and polarity on the roadways.
Remove all the charge and polarity on the roadways.
So I may be myself.
I may be myself.
Without restrictions.
Without restrictions.
And speed limit signs to my consciousness.
Speed limit signs to my consciousness.
For that is the greatest damage my father imprinted.
That's the greatest damage my father imprinted.
In that moment. Hope.
Hope.
You feel that flow countering the pathways of rage?
Yeah.
You can take that and expand on it manyfold. There are different aspects within those words that you can expand 10,000-fold. Are you ready to engage it as the sacred genius on the sacred path to sacred living? The final process for you is to go through the last ritual of expungement, where you do an internal colon cleanse or go and get a series of deep massages, 3 or 4. But during those days that you're getting the massages or colon cleanse, you're doing your great spirit work like this and making ceremonies so that when you go and get that body work, you have the gentle assistance so you can truly expel it out of the cellular walls.
So funny you say that. That's I started December 21st. Actually, I went on a 2-week water fast, and then only been eating about a meal a day since then, and just feeling really good in so many ways and benefits, and doing the research and so many expanded understandings of things in that regard, but still not feeling like there's really been a cleanse thoroughly enough, and I didn't really know the next steps were.
Have you gotten down to the mucus layer or the black water?
No, I never talked about that. So no, that's where I've been. That felt not wanting to have
you should.
But
You. How long have you been water fast? 2 weeks now.
No, I did for 2 weeks, starting the 21st of December.
Okay, so you've been off for roughly a month. So my suggestion for you is to go and actually get a full-on water cleanse kit or a 2-week colon cleanse kit.
Okay.
And do beef bone broths or vegetable broths, very intense. So that's 2 big meals of broth a day. And you can have other stuff in it, just you got to boil the heck out of it. So the base is a bone broth or a vegetable broth. And then your other food during the day is high protein. So you need 40 grams of protein while you're doing this type of fast. So having chia seeds and flax in your smoothies in the morning, getting blue-green algae and chlorophyll. This type of fast will allow the liver and the colon and the gallbladder to fully detox. You've done a tremendous amount by already being on the 2-week fast. You've already gotten a significant portion. Something else you can do is make what's called an apple cider vinegar drink, where you get 2-3 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar and drink that 4 or 5 times a day, along with your meals, to start help digesting some of the surface mucus. You're probably right at the your chest or whatever your fast, or you're probably right at the layer. You just didn't have enough stuff decrystallizing and liquefying some of the harder.
Yeah, awesome. No, all that stuff I'm familiar with. Because I've looked at it, just didn't know what direction to go. That definitely that helps a lot. Thank
Your
you.
other choice is getting a home Kalima. If you got an extra $300 or $250, go to CaliforniaKalimaboards.com or find a Kalima board and a bucket and start doing it on your own every day. For 10 days.
Can that be accomplished as well through like I did one saltwater flush, but I didn't know the efficacy of that long term or how often I should do that. What are your thoughts on that?
What sort of saltwater flush did you do?
2 big tablespoons Himalayan salts in a liter of water.
Okay, that's just basic. You actually need to go to the next level, where you need to get like a 4 or 5 gallon bucket and fill it up with warm water or saline or black tea or something to that effect. And you need to do an internal cleanse, where there's a tube that goes inside your rectum and it's on a continuous drip feed. That's called a home cleanse. So those are just what you're doing is just to assist the body at rapidly letting go of excess toxins, because you know your body's releasing excess toxins at that point. That's an emergency technique of detoxing. Okay? You only really want to really change how much water in your pH very fast, but that's what it's intending to do. Okay? So are you able to invest into a Kalima board?
Yeah.
You know what that is?
I think I've looked at it before. I mean, what you're talking about makes sense. Yeah, I've seen enough. Looking at the detoxing foam cleanses online, I think I'm familiar enough. Yeah.
Right. It's just a board that has a hole in it that fits over the toilet. It's got a little dome on it and a little tube back area, so you can connect to a gravity feed. They're all out there. You can even make them at your own, but they're about $250, $300 online, and do 10 full days. Okay. You could set up and be done in an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah, awesome. And I imagine that's going to drastically affect dream time and all the other stuff too. Yeah.
You will get down to your mucus layer in days, 6 days. Okay?
Awesome.
And then all you do is once a month is a cleanup. There's all other herbs and stuff you can do. If you're really serious and want to make it one hell of a sacred journey, write a poop revocation. For every piece of feces that comes out, you break all vows and agreements with previous dream worlds that's affected. For every moan and groan and every squirt that comes out.
Yeah, awesome.
Make it fun. Okay?
Yeah.
Make it a spiritual ceremony while you're laying on that board. Set up the ceremony. Pray over the water that you know that's going to be in there. For what purpose? To get to the source of your dream world. Think of all the great and beautiful prayers you could put into that water that's going to go into your colon to clean you out.
Totally.
You're at the point where you can imprint yourself internally.
Awesome.
Well, Aaron, thank you so much for calling. I'm going to move on to the next call. Great teacher.
Thank you, Andrew.
You're welcome. All right, so we're going to go to the wheel of callers. And the next caller is from Spring Valley, New York. Are you there? 85.
Yes, I am. Hello, everyone. Hello, Andrew.
And what is your name?
My name is Joyce. I'm calling from New York.
Hi, Joy from New York. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm doing okay. Thank you so much for your opening words. They were really powerful. Really felt them. And you had me questioning. Yeah. First you were like, are you codependent on the unseen and the seen world? And I was thinking, yes, I am sometimes. Also co-creating a little bit with the seen and the unseen world. Um, the swinging of the pendulum spoke to me as well. As you say, we have joys and sorrows and, throughout the day. And recently, I like to keep my sacred neutral, but sometimes we're affected by polarized people who are just, somehow showed up in my reality. And I found myself kind of lost in the moment, and I was wondering maybe you could help me with the process for that.
So people showing up in your reality and creating chaos.
A bit, yes.
I call them shit. I will use a charge for call them shitheads because their heads are full of shit.
Yeah.
Okay? And they're coming in and trying to spread their shit to your environment, and they're trying to make you charge you $10 for it when you accept it. And they don't give you a receipt. Okay? What part of you is accepting your reality? The sympathetic side, sympathetic side, or the parasympathetic side?
Did you say what part of me is accepting that?
Yeah, the sympathetic or parasympathetic?
I think the parasympathetic.
Yes, your unseen, involuntary work, accepting it and creating it.
Yeah.
So a way to clear this out is for you to just clear thoughts for a moment and just visualize in your mind these words that I'm about to say. You see a beam of light coming through your crown chakra, a white beam in the dead center of your skull. And this white beam is like a flashlight, expanding and expanding until your entire brain is encompassed in this white light. Wherever you perceive a shadow where this light is creating is the parasympathetic. This conscious being now can fill in those shaded spaces with light and color, just as if you're looking at a brain map. Color. Bring color to those shady places. For there is where contrast exists. Allow this contrast to be nourished with love from this light. Give it direct source connection. It cannot hide. Cannot run. It cannot escape. The light becomes so intense with the galactic and universal suns that the DNA skin suit becomes light itself, amplifying the brain's conscious connection. See green energy coming up your spinal column, heart energy, going direct into the brain, making a powerful green and white beam, intersect and canceling out all aspects of chaos. That is a practice you can make many-fold amplified with other forms of imagery, with contract revocation, by allowing your divine universal self and your heart space awareness self to meet in the ethers of your mind, to be nourished by the heart space awareness and the love of the universe. The universe is not working against you, it's working for you. You can also use the advanced heart meditation, where you're programming the blood in the marrow to reject chaos and energy vampires and people that will steal your life force and good nature and tromp and walk over all of your seeds you're creating in your mind and heart space. Find the commitment and courage inside yourself to tell those people no, seen and unseen. Take your garbage somewhere else. Don't be meek, powerful. Those are the words you need to discover on your own.
Yeah. Thank you. That felt great. I love the advanced part meditation, and I know I'm powerful. And I got caught up for a short period, and I needed a process, and I like that. Really helped me. I live the mystical life daily. I was recently in an airport, and I was just like, contract revoking, through the X-ray machine, the passport system. I went on a pilgrimage to see the Northern Lights in Iceland, and it was amazing.
What did you learn from the Northern Lights?
It was manyfold, and I saw many shooting stars as well, which were beautiful moments and signals.
Just want you to know, each and every one of those shooting stars was actually a spiritual contract for you to see the unlimited point of view.
Perfect. That's
So when
also
you go to
part of my practice.
When you go to replay those visions in your mind, those shooting stars are still there, waiting with infinite energy to commune with you.
Great. Yes. As a matter of fact, one of them was white and red and green, and it floated. It was beautiful. At the end of the Northern Lights excursion, we had seen a few light auroras, and as we were traveling back towards the city, we pulled over to see an amazing green event in the sky, and the light turned into a giant face, a giant ET face, and grew and split into 3 faces. And I was wondering if you could help me translate that a little bit.
Sure. That's a personal message to you, saying the Star Brothers and Sisters were watching you from the Great Sky Nation, and that there are still prayers to that moment. They were making first communication to you, first contact to you, making a direct manifestation in the sky of a giant face that was undeniably true. They're waiting for you to make first contact back, to define rules, borders, policies, and procedures, so their minds do not overwhelm your mind, so that there's a cultural exchange system to know what they're thinking in their terminology, to begin the linguistic process of understanding the galactic point. You were selected to see that. Are you ready to honor it in the new victory ceremony? So your next rites of passage ceremony gives full-on communication. You are an unlimited being with an unlimited point of view. Commitment is simple. You committed yourself to go to the Northern Lights. It gave you multiple visions. There should be inspiration to write whole novels. Paint them, sing to them. Tell the world of their beauty.
Beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was in Seattle in the fall, and
what was the biggest thing you got out of the event?
well, I was just about to bring up the Union and Communion consciousness strike. with the group that we spoke together. I felt every word I was saying. I wanted to read on the podium. I felt it was really powerful for all of us together as a group.
It was.
It-
What
yeah.
sticks to you about the union and communion consciousness?
Well, what sticks to me is at the end of it, at the end of our consciousness strike, music started playing and everyone was rejoicing and dancing, and I had tears and tears and tears, and I wasn't grounded, and I knew I had to ground myself, and looked around the room and saw my roommate and just ran to her to hug her to get myself grounded. And I've been just remembering that, and it was powerful for me because I was on strike. I felt that release.
Yeah. And we did it in the heart of AI Central, right in downtown Seattle, right next to Microsoft offices.
Yeah.
Right next to Boeing, all like 6 miles away. We'll all use that conference room.
Mm-hmm.
I selected that place so it could have the greatest impact into the seen and the unseen world. The seen world were those that were the attendees. The unseen world was what that consciousness strike did in that place. In that unique hotel.
Yeah.
So I'm your coach now. What is it that I can help you do to refine some of the things that you've experienced, the rituals and ceremonies that you've done?
My ceremonies, I think, are prayers, and well, you've helped me with the one earlier today. I appreciate that. I've heard you talk of one very similar recently where it was similar to that, but there was also how you can deflect with mirrors to keep, people's impressions from reaching you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
going to give you a suggestion. This can be a great teacher for a lot of people out there. Mirrors are technology for this reality. There was a time where we had no reflection in this reality. Reflection as a technology was imported. So I want you to do a ceremony of mirrors. Collect as many mirrors as you can. Even if you just go out and buy a bunch of little 1 by 1 foot by 1 foot mirrors, they're really cheap at the dollar stores. And hang them on a string from the ceiling and put them all around your house. And the ritual of putting up these mirrors all over the house or all over your prayer room, 10, 20, as many mirrors as you can. So wherever you are in your seated or your standing practice, there's a mirror at every direction, spinning, turning, solid on a wall. So every time you look right, there's yourself looking back at you. And I want you to honor each version of that self with a special prayer. One to your left, a ho version of me to the left. In my synchronistic words, thank you. The gratitude as I go forth with grace on these prayers. In a random moment, you look right or up or down, each one giving an individual prayer to. This is honoring your simultaneous existence. You don't live on thousands. The same mirrors, all those mirrors everywhere, you can imprint upon them the vision of the aurora borealis. So all those mirrors are sending back to you your experience of the aurora borealis. You can take a Sharpie and write on those mirrors love, honor, grace, respect, and all those powerful words that we need in our lives. So written over your auric field is the technology of reflection. which are manifestations of word and ink.
Okay. I like that. You were just talking about opening the door of communication during my vision, which is a little intimidating. And I would like to just, I will create a way to set my boundaries with that, so that I can remain sovereign during communication.
Any beings that are true, honorable beings will not overwhelm you. They will not even engage any contact with you if you don't have the capacity to not be overwhelmed by them. And they overwhelm you with one consciousness fart by accident. They're using 100% of their brain power. We're barely using 6. We must up our frequency and capacity to hold our space as individual I am beings, so we can co-create with those other beings of other frames of consciousness.
Okay, this is sinking in. Your layers are sinking in, and I will re-listen to this, and I appreciate your words today.
Thank you so much. You've been a fabulous teacher to a lot of people. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
We're going to go to the wheel of callers and to the last caller. Let me spin the wheel. And the wheel is not spinning. Come on, wheel, you're broken. From Dub Ireland, are you there?
Oh, God. How do I get it? Yeah.
All right, what's your name today?
I had to unmute myself. Wait.
You're unmuted. No, you just muted yourself. I'm going to unmute you. Yeah,
Oh,
you
no,
are unmuted.
sorry.
No, let me do it. You're unmuted.
Okay. Thank
You're
you,
unmuted.
Andrew. Yes. Yes, thank you. Siobhan is my name.
Hi, Siobhan. How you doing today?
Good. Very good.
What did you think of the opening speeches of our Living the Mystical Life Daily webcast?
And to be honest, I wasn't listening because a friend called from Poland, and I've just given birth to a lovely son, and she was, and so we just chatted, and I wasn't listening.
Okay. Were you able to listen to the last callers?
Yeah, I didn't, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the way this works is this is a Living the Mystical Life Daily webcast. I'm here to be your coach in your ritual ceremonies that you do on your path to living. This isn't the normal call-in show.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
So
yeah, I heard that.
What questions do you have for your Living the Mystical Life Daily process?
Well, I feel my mystical life now will be centered around motherhood, and I wanted some guidance on that, and how best how best to be a mother and live my path this way now.
Okay. And when was your child born?
On the 6th of January.
On the 6th of January, so you're still fresh. First things first is get used to not sleeping.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm getting used to it.
Okay. Get used to it really early. And the next thing is you're not alone anymore. For the next 12 plus years, that child is going to be metaphorically and literally on your nipple. Okay? You have to find love in a whole new way. Now, some Living the Mystical Life Daily for those that have just given birth. First thing is prayers for that child. They understand prayers simplify prayers 10,000-fold.
Okay.
You have the advanced heart meditation?
No, it's on your website.
It's on the website when you when you give your email for Living the Mystical Life Daily. It's just you get sign up the email list, and then you get 3 in total sent to you: the Advanced Heart Meditation, the Sanctuary for All Souls, and the Shaman's Death.
Mm-hmm.
Those are 2 free that you should practice with your child. Read to their child. Okay? Record them in your own voice. And when you really want the child to deeply, deeply rest and sleep, play those for her.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is your true, authentic frequency sharing at them.
Mm-hmm. For his birth, we were in the hospital, and there was a lot of hostility and aggression around, and in healing that birth trauma, I feel also is now an important thing to do.
Well, just getting over the first parts of birth. You still got several more months before your body finishes its changes. The best thing I could recommend is craniosacral therapy with mild fascial release over the whole body. The body has gone through trauma. And releasing the physicality part of trauma is what stops it from staying for days, weeks, decades.
Mm-hmm.
The reason there's a birth trauma is because people hold on to those times from birth. Are the individual being who gave birth with another being who is codependent on your commitment and courage to follow through. The next part of the commitment and courage here is to know that living the mystical life daily as a mother began at conception. Go back to the point of conception with your prayers and meditation and clear out any form of ancestral karma. So this child comes in debt-free. And this is for all mothers and fathers out there. You can use your conscious, active, sacred moment of energy to begin imagery of the fetus in the womb and to speak to that child. But as a dreaming being that was just a little tiny heart that now has arms and legs, cries. It's still listening as a heart without ears. This little baby who's been given birth is trying to figure out how the world works. And when you speak to them as the fetus, the little baby understands where it's come through with the encodement of your voice. All those beautiful things you want to be able to imprint into your child, you can create as your own guided meditation in your own voice for your own child. Find the poetry of beauty and take it to the next level. And know that the next 7 to 10 months, the more you begin the proper imprintation of this child. Love first. Forgiveness. Don't hold on to anything. Allow the world to be your teacher. Begin imparting the great wisdom. Read books to him. Books that help expand his consciousness. These early months, where he does have a spiritual contract to be taught by you so that he can become one, a healed healer. What was the hardest part of birth for you?
The women who delivered him were not loving at all.
So you have to know that there was a spiritual contract for those women to give birth to him. You have to forgive. Cannot hold on to any charge and any polarity there.
Yeah.
Because if you hold the charge and polarity, he will empathically feel it and be imprinted by it.
Mm. The
Got
anger.
the strength to forgive the anger?
I feel to express it first, and then the forgiveness will arise.
No. Forgiveness starts in the heart. No one else can do the forgiving but you.
Yeah.
Harsh truth for you right now because you've got a lot of rage and a lot of charge and a lot of polarity. You are doing damage to your child by holding on to it. And that should be the only reason you should know to let it go. Can I harm my child? Should make it really easy to let go. The next step for you is, as you're healing and becoming a mother, you must find how you still connect to your source stream. Part of growing as a mother is it's not living inside you. It's a manifestation in front of you that you must touch and love every moment of every day. And this modern world is a challenge to create that much love. That's why we have children, to learn the lessons of love. To make unconditional love truly mean something brand new to your perspective. It'll be quite some time before he speaks and talks and walks around. He's still the infinite point of view there, a little tiny master waiting for you to teach, show you your power, show him your power, your manifestation and ability to forgive, live, love, and learn, and pass your trials and tribulations of life. Okay. You got to take time for yourself and still be a mother.
Yeah.
I must let you go. I want you to think about what I said. Sign up on the website to get the advanced heart meditation, the sanctuary for all souls from the shaman's death. And it's a very good idea if you download the rest of them and on the website andrewbartzis.com and begin to use them. Begin to use spiritual hygiene at a whole new level. The child isn't influenced by external forces, that you as a mother is protecting them seen and unseen.
Yeah.
Share those teachings with them.
Yeah.
All right, darling. Take it easy and you have a great day. And good luck raising that child.
God bless. Thank you.
Goodbye. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Living the Mystical Life Daily Webcast. So for those of you who want to take your knowledge and abilities to the next level, I want you to stop on by to the website, andrewbartzis.com, and click on the mentorship program and read it thoroughly. We still have openings for the mentorship process, and it is not free. You must be able to commit the time and the resources. Go to the mentorship button, read it, sign up for your interview. You do not just get instant access. I individually interview you to make sure you are right for this mentorship process. We also have unique moments. Part of the requirement of the mentorship process, you must have already completed the Living the Mystical Life Daily online course. So if you still want to be a part of the mentorship process that's going to be ongoing for this year and next year, you must sign up for the Living the Mystical Life Daily course, which can also be found on andrewbartzis.com. So thank you very much, and we will catch you in 2 weeks from now for Ventures into Reality Call-in show. I see that this one was misnamed. It's because we had to change links. So everyone understand, every week, every other week, we will be doing 1 week will be a Ventures into Reality call-in show, which will be a standard call-in show for any questions. And then the Living the Mystical Life Daily Webcast, which is I am your coach. I am your spiritual coach to help you on the path to amplify, modify, and create new aspects to your rituals and faith that you have already done. Okay? Thanks a lot, everyone. Have a great day. I'll see you in the dream room.